Okay, so researchers just dropped a bomb. They found a weird space thing unlike anything we've seen. NASA, known for its crazy discoveries, says this planet is super interesting, not just because of its size and location, but because it's giving off light that looks man-made. Are we about to find out some mind-blowing stuff that changes everything we thought we knew about space? Could this mean there's life out there? Let's get into NASA's findings and see what's really going on with this strange object. Back in '07, NASA launched the Dawn mission to check out some of the coolest stuff in our solar system. With its fancy ion engines, Dawn first spent over a year studying Vesta, the second biggest asteroid in the asteroid belt. It sent back killer photos and data, showing off Vesta's messed-up surface and crazy history. After Vesta, Dawn moved on to something even wilder. A close look at Ceres, a dwarf planet. Those ion engines let Dawn ditch Vesta's orbit and get to Ceres, which would have been impossible with old-school rockets. These engines gave it constant power, so it could travel huge distances and orbit Ceres no problem. Ceres, found in 1801 by some Italian dude, is the biggest thing in the asteroid belt, chilling between Mars and Jupiter. For years, it was called the smallest dwarf planet until they changed the rules in '06. It's about 950 kilometers across, making it the biggest and heaviest thing in the asteroid belt. People were stoked to see close-up photos because of its weird traits. When the pics finally came, they showed bright spots all over the place, especially in a big crater called a crater. These spots had scientists scratching their heads immediately. Before dawn, the best pics of Ceres were blurry shots from the Hubble Space Telescope. Not much was known about this dwarf planet, so everyone was hyped to get a good look, and the mission wanted to better understand how the solar system formed and how water helped build planets. The shiny spots on Ceres, also seen on other asteroids, might be made of reflective stuff like salt left behind by water that evaporated. This hinted at cryovolcanism, that is, volcanoes that spit out water instead of lava. But what are these lights, and what do they tell us about Ceres? Could they be from geological stuff happening right now? Or is it something crazier? Ceres stands out because of its size, weight, what it's made of, and the chance of water and ice being there. Unlike rocky asteroids, it's more like a comet, which means it might hold secrets about the early solar system. After 2 years of traveling, Dawn got to Ceres in early 2015. It was a big deal because it was about to give us our first good look at the biggest thing in the asteroid belt. As Dawn got closer, the pictures got clearer, showing a world we'd never seen before. The first photos showed a surface full of craters, which meant it had been hit by stuff a lot. But the bright spots were the real head-turners. As the pics got better, scientists started guessing what these spots could be. Were they ice reflecting the sun? Or something else entirely? People wondered if they were mineral deposits or maybe even cryovolcanoes that blew everyone away when they saw that the brightest spot was actually a bunch of smaller spots. The most common idea was that they were salt deposits left after water turned into gas. This would mean that Ceres had, or maybe still has, some kind of activity that pushes water to the surface, where it turns into gas fast, leaving behind shiny salt. This changed what people thought about Ceres, showing it as a more alive place than anyone knew. The idea of water under the surface could also change how we think about life on other planets. Ceres is often called an icy world with a rocky surface that has holes in it. Unlike other asteroids made of rock, Ceres is a mix of water ice and hydrated minerals, which makes it less dense. It's believed there's lots of water under its surface. Its outer layer is rocky but porous, so it's more like a comet. Scientists think Ceres has a rocky center and a core full of water ice, which makes up half the planet. All this water ice makes people wonder if Ceres had liquid water a long time ago, especially if its core was hot from radioactive stuff. This inside structure makes Ceres way different from other asteroids and raises cool questions about whether it can have geological processes and how water changes it. And there's more, which is, the clays with ammonia found on Ceres suggest it might have come from the outer solar system. The ammonia could lower the freezing point of water, letting salty water stay liquid on or under the surface. Learning about what Ceres is made of and where it came from helps us understand this dwarf planet better. Cryovolcanism is cool because it spews out stuff like water instead of molten rock. This lets salty water on Ceres rise to the surface. When it hits space, the water turns into gas, leaving bright salt deposits behind, which is the bright spots we see. The brightest spot is in a crater called Spot 5, and it changes over time. These changes may be because water is evaporating, meaning cryovolcanism is still happening. Besides Spot 5, Ceres has other shiny areas, showing that cryovolcanism might be common. As dawn took more and better pictures, it showed a surface with lots of craters, and scientists tried to figure things out. These finds have made us rethink Ceres. With its ice and cryovolcanism, it's now seen as a lively place, not just a frozen rock. The shiny spots, especially in a crater, have scientists super curious. They might show surface activity and suggest Ceres has water underground. Studying Ceres can help us understand other icy bodies in the solar system. The stuff found on Ceres, like water ice, clays with ammonia, and salts, can teach us about the chemicals and environments of other planetary systems. Also, cryovolcanism opens up new ways to understand geological activity, not just on minor planets in our solar system, but also on exoplanets, worlds that could have complex natural processes. Could it also mean that worlds we thought were dead might actually have life? NASA's Dawn mission proves how awesome space travel can be. It's changed how we think about the creation of our solar system. As we keep digging into the secrets of Ceres, scientists can collect valuable clues about everything. Right now, those lights on Ceres are a big mystery, but they could just be the start. With better tech and more missions, we might find even bigger stuff. Ceres, once a nobody in the asteroid belt, is now a star. Its weird surface and shiny spots could give us answers about how our solar system started. The chance of finding life on Ceres, or at least the stuff needed for life, keeps scientists hyped. As we explore space, the line between what's real and what's fiction gets blurrier. The idea of alien life, once just a sci-fi thing, is now a real question. Could tiny organisms live in Ceres water reserves? Could other icy worlds have life? These questions will drive space exploration and maybe, one day, reveal big truths about our place in the universe. Ceres is different from other stuff in the asteroid belt because of its size, weight, what it's made of, and the chance that there's water and ice there. Most asteroids are just rock, but Ceres is more like a comet, which means it might have secrets about the early solar system. After traveling for 2 years, Dawn finally got close to Ceres in early 2015. This was a big deal because it was the first time we were getting a good look at the biggest thing in the asteroid belt. As Dawn got closer, the pictures got clearer, showing us a world we'd never seen before. The first pictures showed a surface full of craters, meaning it had been hit by stuff a lot. But the thing that caught everyone's eye was the bright spots in the middle of all the dark, rough land. As the pictures got better, scientists started coming up with ideas about what the spots were. Were they areas of ice reflecting sunlight or something else? People guessed they could be minerals or maybe even ice volcanoes. But then, when they got an even closer look, they realized the brightest spot was actually a bunch of different areas. The most common idea now is that they're salt deposits left behind after water disappeared. This means that Ceres used to have, or maybe still has, some kind of geological activity that pushes water to the surface, where it dries up and leaves behind shiny salt. This changed what we thought about Ceres, making it seem like a more active and complicated place than we thought. The idea that there might be water under the surface could even mean something for the chance of life somewhere else in the solar system. Ceres is often called an icy world with a rocky surface that lets water pass through. Unlike most asteroids, which are just rock and metal, Ceres is made of water, ice, and minerals, like clays and carbonates. This makes it less dense than the rocky ones. This means there might be a lot of water under its surface. The outside is rocky but lets water through, with ice and other stuff trapped inside, making it more like a comet. People think Ceres has a rocky center with water ice around it. Maybe half of the planet is water. If there's a lot of water ice, it's possible that Ceres used to have liquid water, especially if the center was heated up by radioactive stuff when it was young. This makes Ceres different from the asteroids around it and makes us wonder if it could have geological activity and how water changed it. But wait, there's more. They found ammonia clays on Ceres, which means it might have started way out in the cold parts of the solar system before moving inward. Ammonia can make water freeze at a lower temperature, so salty water could stay liquid on or just under the surface. These discoveries about what Ceres is made of and where it came from not only help us understand this dwarf planet better, but also tell us about how icy stuff in the solar system forms and changes. So, what's next for space exploration? Ice volcanoes are a cool and rare thing, especially compared to regular volcanoes on Earth. Instead of shooting out lava, ice volcanoes shoot out stuff like water, ammonia, or methane. These things can be liquid or gas in really cold places. On Ceres, ice volcanoes let salty water come to the surface. When it hits the vacuum of space, it quickly turns from solid or liquid to gas. What's left behind are shiny salt deposits, which are the mysterious bright spots we see. The most famous bright spot is in the Akator crater, in an area called Spot 5. This area gets a lot of attention because it's super bright, and it changes over time. These changes probably have to do with water evaporating, meaning ice volcano activity might still be happening or happened recently. Besides Spot 5, there are other bright areas on Ceres, each with its own stuff going on. These spots aren't just in one place but are all over the dwarf planet, meaning ice volcano activity might be happening in a lot of places. This shows that Ceres is active and not just some dead rock. As the Dawn mission kept sending back better pictures, we saw a surface covered in craters, each telling a story about what Ceres has been through. Experts are trying to figure out what all this means. These finds have totally changed how we see Ceres. With its icy makeup and signs of ice volcanoes, it's now seen as an active world, not just a frozen leftover from the past. The bright areas, especially in the Akator crater, are still super interesting to scientists. They might not just be surface activity but also stuff going on deep inside, meaning Ceres could have underground water. Studying Ceres can tell us about more than just one dwarf planet. By looking at its inside, surface, and shiny spots, scientists can learn about how other icy stuff in the solar system acts and develops. The stuff found on Ceres, like water ice, ammonia clays, and shiny salts, can tell us about the chemicals and environment of other similar planets. The chance of ice volcanoes also opens up new ways to understand geological activity, not just on small planets and frozen moons in our solar system but also on planets far away. This means that places we thought were dead and boring might actually have cool stuff going on. Could this also mean that worlds we thought were cold and empty might actually have what it takes for life? So, let's talk about NASA's Dawn project and what it means for us. NASA's Dawn mission is a great example of how awesome space exploration can be. What we've learned has already changed how we think about our solar system. As we dig deeper into the secrets of Ceres and other similar stuff, each piece of info helps us understand how planets, moons, and other space stuff form and change. Right now, the bright spots on Ceres are one of the most interesting puzzles in space science. But this might just be the beginning. With better technology and new missions, there's a good chance we'll find even more crazy stuff. Ceres, once thought of as just a tiny thing in the asteroid belt, is now a fascinating place full of potential. Its different landscape, layered inside, and mysterious bright spots might eventually tell us about the early days of our solar system and what made the worlds in it. The chance of tiny life, or at least the stuff needed for life on Ceres, is a super exciting idea, keeping scientists and space fans thrilled. As we keep exploring space, the line between what's real and what's fiction gets blurrier. The idea of alien life, once just a story, is now a serious scientific question. Could tiny creatures live in hidden water on Ceres? Could other frozen places have life that's either like us or totally different? These are the questions that will drive space exploration and might one day reveal big truths about our place in the universe.